Oh my goodness. Is that a frog? Yes. It's a fantastic background that came about. It's great. I love it. It's perfect. Hopefully the music's not too loud or overpowering. I can always turn it down a bit. Yep! As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is going to be my desktop now. Forever and ever. I can turn the music down a little bit more. I shall do that. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Best part is I have 3 screens, so technically I could make each screen one of the different drawings. I could put Clem being absorbed into a painting on one screen, and then Pizza appreciating the Chicory painting. I also want Super Mario RPG on Switch. I mean, yeah, I know. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna stream all 3 screens, but... Alright, time to get down to business. For those of you who are new to me doing one of these dev streams, I am a decent, okay-ish programmer in a game maker studio, and I'm working on a Paper Mario fan game called Paper Mario Showtime. I mentioned it at the end of the previous stream, I believe, where I'm trying to take the bad Paper Mario games and make them good. Which is, you know, all sorts of fun. But, I suppose I shall show you what I have so far. I believe I have my controller hooked up properly, so let's just go ahead and do a save, make sure it saves fast enough. Because that is the thing about Studio, is it tends to take a little while to save, especially since my assets are quite large. And yes, I have a wide variety of music. So, they are generally considered by most Paper Mario fans to be bad. That is, Sticker Star and Color Splash. I have the opinion that they had good ideas that were just poorly executed. And what I'm trying to do here is take those ideas and do the execution that I think would have worked better in the end. But, you know, Paper Mario is a game series I've loved since the original on the Nintendo 64. Even though when it was on the Nintendo 64, I only ever rented it from a video store, but I liked it a lot. Even though I never finished it, I think I only ever got as far as, I think I only ever really beat the Koopa Brothers. But then Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door came out on the GameCube, and I was able to get that one. And it is seriously, like, my favorite Mario game, period. I love Thousand Year Door so much. And then, you know, Super Paper Mario came out, and it's like, wow, I don't like this at all. And then Sticker Star came out, and I was like, I mean, it's okay. And then Color Splash came out, which is like, Color Splash is really fun, except when it's not fun. And in those instances where Color Splash is not fun, it is so severely not fun. Like, I was playing it for some friends once, and I got to a part that literally made me rage quit. I don't rage quit games very often, but Color Splash managed to make me rage quit. But then Origami King came out, and Origami King is amazing. I love Origami King. And I really want them to do more with Origami King's battle system, because, like, it's good, but it could be, like, a lot better, and cool, and more interesting. Anyway, let's hope this pops up. There we go. There it is. I might need to turn the volume on the game down a wee tiny bit. Dude, I have seriously, like, tried to, like, figure out, okay, how could I imitate Origami King's battle system? And I had to pull myself back. I had to go, no, you're already trying to do too much with this, don't do it. Anyway, I used to have an opening sequence. I'm gonna, like, redo it, because the original one I had was kind of bad. I want to make, like, a new one that's kind of like an attract mode for, like, arcade games, because that's what this is supposed to sort of be, is an arcade-style game. But here's my main menu so far. I think it's coming together pretty well. Got all the different modes to explore. We got Battle Stage, which is the main game mode options. And I came up with images for each of the different... I say came up with. I'm using sprites from Color Splash, but... Oh, except that one... right there, that's that Goombella sprite that, I had to basically take Goombella's sprites from Thousand Year Door and up-res them, and kind of modify the style a bit so that she'd fit in more with Color Splash's visuals, because Thousand Year Door and Color Splash have slight, but noticeable differences in style. But yeah. And then the effect for jumping into the sub-menu and back. That's an effect I'm actually pretty proud of. And then I actually have a fully working My Music system. It actually 100% works. It really works. I'm astonishingly happy with it. There are some things that I still need to work on. While I do have sound volume and music volume working, I need to make it so those toads, like, change their look based on the level of volume. Like, I want... like, they're shouting now, because that's supposed to be, like, 100%, but they're supposed to, like, calm down and then eventually just clam up when you get down to 0%. I need to still program customizable controls, but I want to have a bunch of presets, like QWERTY, Azerty, Dvorak, all that sort of thing, just so that, basically, most people will have a comfortable place to start when they start playing. And then gamepad controls, as well. I want to... well, first of all, I want players to be able to choose the buttons they want to use, whether they be the Microsoft Xbox controller buttons, or Nintendo buttons and colors. Or maybe you prefer the Super Nintendo colors, the nice lavender and purple buttons. And then, of course, the Sony buttons. And then the option to turn the left stick on or off. I actually still need to add that because right now it doesn't work. And then this actually works, so you can see which button relates to which action. So right now I actually have a controller with Super Nintendo style buttons. And then of course being able to customize them so they can, whichever button you want can do whichever thing you want. And then full screen, and then I also want to have, oop, that part's glitching out, but I also want to have an option to change like how intense effects are, like camera zoom or shake, rumble, particle effects, that sort of thing. So like if the game's not running as well as it could be, you can turn off like certain particle effects, or if you don't really like screen shake or rumble, you can turn those off so that, you know, just make the game more comfortable for you. Basically, is what I'm going for. And then, of course, the battle stage. I want to come up with a variety of different game modes. Just to, like, add variety, basically, because this game is focused entirely on the combat. Like, there's not really an overworld to explore at all. This is meant to be an arcade style, like you fight enemies one after the other to see how far you can get in as much time as you have or before you run out of health. That's the idea behind this game, because like the combat for Sticker Star and Color Splash, I like it, but I don't really think it works the way they executed it in a long-form style game. Also, hello. Hopefully you enjoy this deep dive into what I'm making. One of the additions that isn't in Sticker Star or Color Splash is badges, which I'm bringing back from the first two Paper Marios. I actually have a few of them programmed, even. Such as Simplifier and Unsimplifier I have working. I think I have Super Appeal working as well. Timing Tutor's kinda working. I still need to fix it up a little bit. But basically just, you can equip up to 3 badges before you start a round, so that you can kind of customize your playstyle a little bit more, like, oh hey, I'm not as good at nailing action commands. I want to make them easier, or I'm awesome at nailing action commands, I want to make them harder, or I want to recover health between, you know, turns, I want to earn more points from doing stylish moves, I want to activate the bonus spinner before each round. I want to see enemy health bars without needing to summon Goombella, that sort of thing. Just all sorts of things. And then different difficulty modes as well. I'm including standard and casual. The idea is that in standard, occasionally you might run into a tougher than normal enemy. Sort of like the rare, you know, encounter deal in most RPGs. Like, oh, hey, all of a sudden I'm fighting an enemy that's actually a couple levels higher than they should be, and it's supposed to be like a more challenging thing. And that'll happen sometimes in standard, whereas in casual, that never happens. You basically always fight enemies that are on your level, and it's just kind of supposed to be like, okay, this is like if you're learning how to play, or if you just don't want to have to worry about that kind of thing. And then just some extra options. These are sort of kind of working, but not really. The time limit, the timer works, but it doesn't actually expire yet. So I need to actually make it do that, but I want to have a few different timer styles, like a standard timer, which is just you get this many minutes to get as far as you can. A panic timer, which is sort of inspired by WarioWare. The idea of the panic timer is that you start with a very, very small amount of time, but performing action commands gets you more time. So you're basically constantly, like, straddling this line of, like, oh god, And then a time attack, where you have as much time as you want to get to, you know, whatever goal round you're trying to reach. So how fast can you get to and beat 30 rounds? How fast can you get through 50 rounds? You know, that sort of thing. You can choose how many audience members you start with in multiples of 5. You can choose how many coins you start with, up to 150 and as little as 50. And then I still don't have multiple enemies programmed in the game. So far it's just Goombas, and even they're not finished, but the idea is you'd be able to like start with more challenging enemies if you want. If you want to do that to yourself. Also, yes, melee noises. This is sort of just a little intro screen before jumping into the thing. It lets you read basically the rules for the game mode you're playing, and gives you some time to like look at the audience. And gives the audience some time to look at you, as that Koopa did. I need to clean up this It's Showtime thing. It looks... I need to make it look better. But here's what battles look like so far. You have 4 different types of cards. You got jump cards, hammer cards, item cards, and partner cards. Jump cards, just a variety of different jump attacks, like the regular jump, the iron stump that hits spiked enemies, a line jump that hits all enemies, a hop slipper that hits one enemy a whole lot of times, and hammer cards, which, like in Sticker Star and Color Splash, are more about hitting multiple enemies at once. Item cards, I don't have any of these programmed, but like Mushroom, you can use mushrooms to heal, Pow Blocks to stun enemies, Fire Flowers, Ice Flowers. And then partner cards are a totally new thing. Right now, you only get one to start each game session off with, and it's Goombella. She's still not fully programmed either, but the basic idea is Goombella just uses Tattle to reveal enemy HP and weaknesses. And I also want to have like a Tattle log that you can fill up and just read up on the enemies, kind of like in Thousand Year Door. And you can also switch using the shoulder buttons between the different types of card. But we'll go ahead and start with a basic jump. That I still need to fix, but yeah. Right now I have Goombas programmed to do an attack. I still need to finish the attack animation. I have a hotkey to like reset the battle. I have randomized backgrounds, and I also have little drop shadows for the backgrounds as well. I also have a slight block animation for Mario that I also need to clean up a bit. But that's the slam hammer. It hits an enemy into the one behind it. The audience is also slightly randomized, and the audience also has preferences and dislikes. So you can see there's a Goomba there in the front row, kind of left of the center there. Goombas hate jump attacks. They do not like them. If you use a jump attack at a Goomba's in the audience, they'll be like, I do not like this jump attack that you are doing, sir. And they won't give you as much hype. They don't like it, man. So if I use this hop slipper, and you watch that Goomba, he ain't jumping at all. He don't like it. Oh my goodness, but there's a Luigi! Luigi just loves everything Mario does, because he's your brother, and brothers are there for each other when they need to be. I need to finish the compile and restart. I need a better way to get back to the main menu than that, but right now that's the best I got. Also, yes, my music also works for the main menu. My music works for everything. But, let's go ahead and bump up the audience to, like, full, which is 100. Look at that. Look at all those guys. So many! The various different audience members are, you can see, there's Toads in there, there's Koopas, there's Goombas, there's Boos, there's Crazy Daisies, there's Hammer Brothers, there's Yoshis, which I had to make from scratch, because weirdly enough, there aren't Yoshis in the audience in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. And, let's see, is that everybody? Shy Guys, as well. And then, I don't see Luigi in there. I guess he just didn't spawn in, but there's also Luigi. There's only ever one Luigi at a time, because there's only one Luigi, as far as we know. This isn't the Dream World, where there are many Luigis. But, the bigger the audience, the louder they are. And also, you may have noticed there that the Toads were jumping up a little bit higher than everybody else. Audience members have various levels of hype that just explains how excited they are to see what you're doing. And the higher an audience member's hype is, the more excited they are, and the higher a point multiplier you get at the end of each round. And then I have like a debug key here. Yes! I have a debug key to show, Oh. Oh no, Mario's in peril. That's actually not working properly right now. I think I broke it with another thing I was doing. But, basically, yeah, you can see there's a timer in the upper left. It's just counting down. The idea is you're trying to get through as many rounds as you possibly can before time runs out. Attacks cost coins. Doing good attacks attracts more audience members. Doing bad attacks makes them want to leave. Doing stylish moves. No, I won't. I won't appear in the audience. I'm not in there. I'm not in the video game. Yeah, I know. I was making a joke. Oh yeah, I also have it so that the thinking music is fully programmed. Like in Origami King, so when you're picking a move, when a track from Origami King is playing, it will transition to the thinking version of that track. I'm not going to include chicory or pizza. The idea behind the audience is that it's easy to see at a glance sort of what their preferences are. So like you see a few Yoshis in there, they're kind of outnumbering the Goombas, so jump attacks are safe. There's also a whole bunch of Hammer Brothers, and they love hammer attacks, so it's safe to mix them up. Like, that's the main idea behind the audience, is that it's supposed to be easy to see what they'll generally like, so you can mold your playstyle around that, if you so choose. Because you can see on the score, you get points based on the enemies you beat, the action commands you succeed at, the stylish commands you perform, and then you also get a special bonus if you manage to beat them all in one turn, and without taking damage, and then you also get a rank based on, you know, how well you did, again, if you beat them in one turn without wasting any cards or taking any damage, that sort of thing. And then you get an audience bonus, which is based on how hyped up the audience is. If you've been doing a good job pleasing the audience, you know, they'll increase your multiplier. And then you get total points after all of that. And the reason you want to get as many points as possible is because you can use them on upgrades between rounds. Luigi likes everything. He starts out with maximum hype. And it's impossible to lower his hype level, but if you hit him, he instantly leaves, and it also demoralizes the entire audience a whole lot, because another mechanic I plan on including is having the audience throw things at you, like they do in Thousand Year Door, and if somebody throws a bad thing at you and you hit them, that's a good, then they won't hit you, but if somebody tries to throw a good thing at you and you hit them, that's bad, and everybody's like, hey man, we're trying to help you out. There's a very low chance that Luigi throws a rock at you. I'm not including that. even though it would be funny, but Luigi in this game will only throw helpful items just because he's supposed to be the best audience member that you want to like hang on to as much as you can. Toads similarly also start out with more hype than usual, but they can lose hype if you know, sucking at action commands. Also, hey Miles. But yeah, the idea is that between rounds, you spend points on upgrades. You can upgrade your various attacks. Oh, no. Random stage effects will not happen in this game. Random stage effects will not happen because I do think they are kind of annoying in Thousand Year Door, especially the fog. I guarantee 100% no fog in this game will happen. I should probably make sure the chat box is above the game. Oops, there we go. What if, say, you hit an audience member that's trying to help, and when they leave, they throw the item to the foes? That's something I might consider, but since they'd be throwing stuff like coins, which enemies don't use, I don't really know how effective that would be. But... Yep. Oop. Gotta click on the thing to get it going. Okay. So you can upgrade your various attacks up to level 4. And then you can upgrade your health, just adding 5, and also getting a full heal on top of that. You can add extra card slots, so you can use more cards on your turn. You can just straight up buy coins if you're using a lot of expensive cards, or you're running low on coins. You can just buy them. You can buy extra minutes for the timer, but the idea behind this one is that it gets way expensive way fast. You can buy new partner cards. There are going to be 4 partners in the game. There's Goombella, who uses Tattle. Sushi here uses Water Block to increase Mario's defense. Sort of supposed to be useful during boss battles. Then there's Watt, who uses Turbocharge to increase Mario's offense. Sort of if, you know, you got like a tough enemy coming up, or again, boss battles. That's what Watt's for. And then the final partner is Bobbery, who uses Bombast to damage all enemies on the screen at once with a ridiculous amount of damage, but he is also supposed to be really, really expensive. And then you can also just shuffle the audience if you don't like the way they're composed. The size remains the same, so if you shuffle 30 audience members, you get 30 audience members when you're done shuffling. But, you know, there'll be different patrons, maybe. You know, if you have an audience full of Goombas and you're like, man, I don't like this because I like using jump attacks, you can take a chance on the audience shuffle and see if you can get an audience with more Yoshis than Goombas, because Yoshis love jump attacks. Jump attacks hype them up more, and they jump up more when you use jump attacks, compared to Goombas who don't jump when you use jump attacks. And then one of the big changes in this game is how the Eek Hammer works. In Sticker Star and Color Splash, you had to like time it, and it was 5 strikes on a single enemy. In this game, it works completely differently. You just mash the hell out of the button. That's what it's all about. I need to make that attack faster for the Goomba. And that's what I'm gonna work on! Oh yeah! I can't wait to watch Mario! I don't like you though. Get out of here! Get out! Alright, so today we're gonna see if we can fix the Goombas, because their attack looks okay, but I want it to be faster. You know what I mean? Because right now, like, they walk over kind of slow, and then they jump on top of Mario, and then they bounce off. Not great. So I want to fix that up, and then obviously I gotta make it so that when one Goomba's done attacking, the next Goomba attacks. Gosh golly gee. We're gonna go into stage stuff. I'm gonna hide that real quick. So here's how I got animations set up, basically. Oop, hang on. Where are they? Okay. So the way I have everything programmed is so that everything's set up in phases, essentially. So if we go to the director object, this is basically controlling everything in combat through a variety of phases, which are numbered thus. We have -3, which is game's over. We're displaying scores now. -2, player lost, or, you know, time ran out, you know, health ran out, coins ran out, something ran out, the game ends at -2. -1 is startup. This generates the audience, fades in the screen, displays the game mode, instructions. Then round 0 is the round start animation. Round 1 is Mario choosing, or phase 1 is Mario choosing attacks. Phase 2 is just an intermittent phase where we're confirming that Mario is going to do these attacks. Phase 3, Mario executes his attack pattern. Then Phase 4, enemy executes their attack pattern. And then round 5 is, you know, Mario wins the round. Phase 6 is the upgrades and then the bonus spinner. Yes! Because it's useful! It makes sense. And then, of course, like, the interface and everything and all that crazy garbage. But, similarly, attacks are also done in phases. Like, if I open up one of... Oh, that's not it. If I open up one of Mario's attacks, let's say the, jump attack. It has a number of discrete phases. Step 0 is moving into position to actually do the attack. Then, step 1 is leap, step 2 is waiting for the action command, step 3 is successful action, step 4... And, like, steps 2 and 3 jump back and forth between one another based on, you know, how well you're succeeding at it. Because this is the jump attack, you get multiple commands. Step 4 is the unsuccessful or final action. Step 5 is the optional stylish flare. In this game, you can only execute stylish moves if you get an excellent. So, step 6 is the ending. Step 8, reset, pause, let enemies explode, then move to the next attack or end phase. And then step 9 is a special catch, because this is the regular jump. It cannot jump on spiked enemies. So this is here. If Mario jumps on a spiked enemy, it just skips all the way to step 9, and is like, you are dumb, you get to take damage, and everybody leaves because you are the worst at this game. Except not really. And then a whole bunch, just so much text. So much text. Fortunately, Goomba, not quite so much text. Got all the various phases for the Goomba. Step 1, move into position. Step 2, jump at Mario. Step 3, impact and bounce off of Mario. Step 4, return to like a neutral position. And then step 9, and turn. I'm skipping to step 9 because I want that to be the absolute final step in case I come up with any sort of step in between returning to neutral and step 9, like, I don't know. It's basically just a catch so that I can always use step 9 as like a final thing. So, like, I can just have, okay, go to step 9. I can have step 9 be like a copy-pasted thing that's really easy to use between different enemies and different animations, I can just always rely on step 9 being the thing, being the dream. So I really can't think of any moves that'll use more than 9 steps. And then I use various variables for this step system. Attack step B, which is Goomba moves into position. And then that's like the over step. And then there's other miniature steps within those steps, which I use with attack step C. And occasionally I'll use an attack step D for like summoning objects that need specific things, like say, like I need to summon one of those damage stars. I'll usually use like attack step D for that. Like I use that in basically all of the Mario attack scripts I got here. But I just create a position for the Goomba for step 1. I just create a position for the Goomba to get into, which is just in front of Mario a little bit to the right. We move him at a distinct speed, which I said I wanted to speed up, so I'm going to speed that up. And then for the animation, I am using my own animation scripts instead of relying on Game Maker's built-in animation stuff, like what is it? Sprite speed or whatever. I genuinely can't remember what it is anymore because I haven't used it in forever. But that's because image index, image speed, yes. That's because the sprites that I have for the enemies, well, all the sprites I have for all the characters, I'm going to open up a small one so that it doesn't explode. It's all of their sprites in one image. So this is all of Goombella's sprites for animations. If I open up Mario, he has 162 sub-images because it's basically all of his sprites from Color Splash, just in case I need them. But I use these scripts so that I can just, you know, I have more control over when the animations do what they do. For example, I go into Mario's idle. I have a special catch here in the idle animation for making Mario blink. And I can just put anim Mario idle and then set whatever speed I want, and then it automatically cycles through those sprites, including the blinking sprite. I don't have to like program another thing where it's like, oh, it just does it here. It's really nice. Kind of a same thing with like the Mario running. It just cycles between the different running sprites because he has like 4 different running sprites, like one with the right foot in front, one with the left foot in front. Also, that's very nice. That is very, very nice. I did not know that. That's useful. But yeah, it also makes it easier to like line up where all their centers are. So like it's just way easier to like make sure they all line up properly. But I still have like a catch just in case something doesn't line up quite right. I have this Y down variable that just kind of adjusts the sprite vertically just in case I need to. I was more concerned with horizontal lineup, whereas like the vertical lineup I can just modify as I need with that Y down variable. So, you know what? I think I'm gonna triple the speed on that, actually. Oh yeah, Mario's good at dancing. So I have Goomba moving, and then I have this. Actually, I think I want that to go a little bit faster. So Goomba's gonna zip over to Mario, because this is a timed game. Goomba's gotta go fast. I don't want the player to feel like enemies are wasting their time, because that would be bad. And then once the Goomba's in the right spot, I lock him to that spot specifically so that he doesn't, like, overshoot it, because that would be bad. I have forgotten to, like, lock characters. Yeah, you don't want the player yelling, "Come on, move your ass!" I don't have Koopas in the game yet. I gotta get him in. But, and then we, like, set everything to 0 and, like, change back to his idle animation. Then we pause for a brief moment. The game runs at 60 frames a second. So with timing A++ here, every frame timing A++ is going up. So when I say if timing A is greater than or equal to 10, I'm going to change that to greater than or equal to 10. That means after 10 frames, we move to the next step. I use this for precise timing. And then I know, like, oh hey, if I set this to 60, it means it takes 1 second. If I set it to 10, it takes 1/6 of a second. If I set it to, you know, whatever, if I set it to 15, it takes 1/4 of a second. It just helps me, you know, all these timing variables just help me time things properly. Frame timing. It's not just for fighting games. And then step 2, we jump at Mario. Attack step C is what we're using to say we just started the jump, because we only want things to happen once. So we only want the Goomba to jump once. So we only want Y speed to be set to -16 once. Otherwise, they will fly off into space. And as impressive as that is, that makes it very difficult for them to hit Mario from where they are, because space have not the gravity. But we also got to make sure we set their gravity, so we got their gravity. And then we set their X speed to this script, which was given to me by the very friendly DJ Coco way back in the day. Basically what this does is it takes the speed they start at, and then the gravity, the position they start at, and then the position they end at, and it uses that to determine how fast they need to be going in order to hit that point precisely in an arc. It's very handy. Very, very useful. I mean, yeah, sending Goombas to space does sound fun. I ain't gonna lie. Now, for this, because I know what image I want the Goomba to use, I can just set his image index to that. And then I set attack step C to 1, because I want to move to the next step. And then I have him play a sound for jumping, which I use GMF mod for all the sounds in the game, simply because it makes them easier to edit. And also because Game Maker Studio's default sound system is honestly kind of poopy. I'm still using version 1.4. Maybe they fixed it in Studio 2. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't like the default sound system in this version of Game Maker, really any version of Game Maker I've used. And I've used 6.1 up through Studio 1.4, and yeah, just Game Maker's default sound system has just never really impressed me. So in attack step C, we increase timing A by a little bit because we want the sprite to change, because if we go and look at the Goomba sprite, Goomba. If we look at image index 5, we see, oh hey, that's a jump sprite, but it also has like speed lines coming off of them. Which is a cool effect that I really like from Color Splash. But then we want to change it to 22, which is the same thing but without the speed lines. Yes! Oh my god, yes! That is the one thing that Game Maker just refuses to add. It's so weird, because, like, so many games would benefit from that. It's so weird that, like, all the way up through Studio 1.4, they haven't had that so basic thing. That's another reason I use Fmod, because it has that. It does it in a weird way, but it at least has it. You know? It's so weird. Huh. But I also want to make sure the Goomba spins around. Spin is what I use to determine the direction they rotate. 0 is upright, 180 is upside down, so I want the Goomba to spin around while he's jumping through the air. And then, basically, we just want to catch when the Goomba hits Mario. So if the Goomba's speed will take it past Mario's, like, X position, that means the Goomba's gonna hit Mario because we know exactly how fast we need to be going for that to happen. So what we do then is we lock the Goomba to that position, and then we move on to the next step. We reset all these variables. We don't need Y speed anymore, we don't need Y grav anymore, we don't need X speed anymore, we don't need timing A anymore. We reset all of those because we're gonna basically change all of those in an instant, like, in the next couple steps. But we just want to make sure that the Goomba just gets locked on top of Mario. So we have the impact here. We pause for a brief moment. We also change the Goomba's sprite to sprite 6, which I believe is just like a strained face because the Goomba's hitting Mario. And we increase timing A by a little bit. We want, we want this to go by fairly quickly. So 6 frames, I think, is a good amount. And then once those 6 frames are up, we play the actual damage sound effect, because that's, now the Goomba's gonna bounce off of Mario, and we want that to be the moment of, like, the actual impact. We want that to be the moment that, like, anything happens, like screen shakes, particles, that sort of thing. So basically, this is the money moment. The pause beforehand, not so much, but the strike after, the strike back, that's when we want the magic. So we're going to have the Goomba bounce off of Mario, and because I want the Goomba's bounce to be a little bit faster, because it was kind of slow, I'm going to double that. I'm going to have them bounce off a little bit higher to compensate, and then I'm going to I'm going to triple that, because I want the Goomba to, like, spin back into position really quickly. So this is the Goomba pausing, this is the Goomba bouncing off, and this is the Goomba returning to the ground. And this is as far as I've gotten thus far. I'm going to go ahead and put in if attack step B is greater than or equals 4. Step 4 neutral. And then another reason I have attack step B equals 9 is because I want enemies to sort of like jump into attacking as previous enemies are returning to formation. Say, like, I don't want the player to have to wait for this Goomba to move all the way back to its starting position before the next Goomba starts running into attack, because once this Goomba fires off its attack, who cares what it's doing? It's going back. We know where it's going. This other Goomba, zoop, we just need this next Goomba, or Spiny, or Kremit, or whatever. We just need to start running in. And we need this Goomba to just move back and not have to worry about a thing. So, step 9 is this Goomba's turn is over. And then, because of the way we want everything programmed, all the Goombas are gonna... Once all the Goombas are, like, at step 9, that's when we transition to the next... Or, actually, wait, hang on a second. I'm going to add another step. I have just realized. That is step -2. Wait for phase end. There we go. So step -2 is just the Goomba's turn is totally over, it's back in position, and we're just setting that to -2 so that we can let the director know, okay, all the Goombas are done attacking definitively, we can move on to the next phase. Attack step equals -2. There we go. Okay, so another thing we have going on here is as the Goomba is falling, if it's speed, we'll take it past where it's supposed to land on stage, which is this Y spot variable. We just reset the Goomba's depth, because depending on whose turn it is who we want in front. So the lower depth is, the more in front the character is. Mario's default depth is, I think, like 50. So when we set the Goomba to negative 52, we make sure the Goomba's in front of Mario because the Goomba's attacking. And we want to be able to see the Goomba, you know, totally, like, do the attack. You know, we don't want Mario or anything else to get in the way, so that's why we set depth to negative 52 here. And then, once its turn is over, we want it to fade back into the background so that another Goomba coming up runs in front of it, but also so that when it's Mario's turn, Mario's in front of the Goomba again. Hopefully I'm doing a good job of explaining this. So, let's see here. And then, we want the Goomba to change back to its idle animation. And then Y speed, Y grav, X speed is all equal to 0. Spin is also equal to 0, because I want to make sure... And here's another catch. If spin is greater than 8, we subtract 9. But if it's not greater than 8, that means it's 8 or lower, we just set it to 0. Because if we subtract 9 again, it's going to be set to -1, and it's going to look weird. The thing about programming is that the computer always does exactly what you tell it to, so you want to make sure you tell it exactly what you want it to do. So here in the neutral phase, let's see. Spin is 0, attack, step C equals 0 as well, and then attack, step C equals 0. Just landed. Pause a moment. Oh, and another thing I want to make sure I do is timing A equals 0, just in case we need timing A again. Timing A plus plus. Boop. And let's say timing A is greater than or equal to... Let's have the Goomba pause for, let's say, a third of a second, 20 frames. I think that's good enough for, like, the player to, you know, see the damage that was dealt, because we also had, like, the Goomba bouncing off. So we don't need to wait that long, but this will give the player time to recover from this attack so that they can prepare to block the next attack. But again, this is just one of those things that, like, I might change it over time. Like, if I discover, okay, that's a bit too long of a pause, I'll change it to, like, 10 frames, or maybe even 5 frames in the future. It's just one of those things that, it's gonna depend. Let's see. So, we just landed, pause a moment. Now! This is gonna be the hard part, because at this point, the Goomba needs to start running back to its start position, but we also need to make sure the next Goomba is in line to attack. So... Now, I'm sure some people might be asking, and that's a fair thing to do. It's totally your right. You may ask. You may have noticed while I was looking at one of Mario's attacks that with Mario, I start at step 0 and then go to step 1. Whereas with this Goomba, I'm starting at step 1, and step 0 seems to have vanished into the ether. That's because step 0 is the Goomba waiting for its turn. All the Goombas start at step 0, but if all the Goombas are at step 0 and I use step 0 as the first step, then all the Goombas are going to attack Mario at once, and that's bad. No, don't. So that's why I have the Goombas set to start on step 1, as opposed to Mario, who gets to start at step 0 because he's special. So here we want to set the next... No! Never! Just army of Goombas. Though I am also trying to remember why I have it set up as attack step B. Oh yeah, no, I remember why it's attack step B. I remember why it's attack step B as well. Mario uses attack step A. Goombas and all enemies use attack step B because attack step A chooses what move they use. Goombas only have one move. So, like, who cares? But other enemies will have other moves that do other things. That's what attack step A is going to be for. So, but because Goombas don't have multiple attacks, they just have a goofy little head bonk. We don't gotta worry about it. It's been a while since I've opened this thing up, in case you can't tell. So, I have all the enemies in the game set up on an array. Like this. Whoop. That's held in object director, in the director object. So we just need to, you know, find out, okay, where should we go next? And I'm trying to remember how I do that. Let's see. So here's the enemy attacks phase. Let's see. And step A2, all enemies have finished attacking. Okay, I know that. Okay, so... here we go. So this bit of text right here is just the intro animation for the enemy's turn, but here I have timing A, keeping track of which enemy is doing their attack. I have this while loop to catch which enemy's first in line, because it's not because the first enemy is not necessarily like, if I defeat the first enemy, then that spot in the array is gone. It's just empty. So I need to make sure to catch that there is actually an enemy there. Oh god, I have too many windows open now. I gotta close some. Okay. So basically, I just need to use that again. Except, I am in the Goomba object, so I need to make sure that I reference... Yes, comments save me. Comments are so important. And just like this organization system I have with like boxes and phases and all that sort of thing, like, it may not be the most efficient thing, but it makes it readable. And that's what I need. So, while, so we just need to set object new director dot timing A, add one to it, and then while an instance does not exist, object new director dot enemy, object new director dot timing A. This just checks to make sure something actually exists there. Timing A plus plus. Oh, you know what? I just realized another thing I should do. While... oh, well, I don't have to do it here because it doesn't go to the enemy phase unless there's actually an enemy there. But... while... oop, I also forgot to actually do the reference, so I need to make sure I... is less or less than 7, because there can only be 6 enemies on stage at a time. This is an arbitrary number I have decided upon, and it will not flex. Then I'm going to change this to an if, because making 2 whiles is a bad idea. I am not familiar with constructions. I'm not familiar with I will have to spend some time studying them and learning their magic powers. But, for now, I'm just gonna go full speed ahead. And then, if object or new director.timing A is less than 7. This means we have not reached the end of the line. So we just need to make sure that enemy starts attacking. If it isn't less than 7, or if it's 7 or greater, it shouldn't get greater than 7, but you never know. It could happen, maybe, by some sheer magical power. Then there isn't another enemy. So, at that point... I want to set a particular thing. And I think I know what it is. Damn. I'm totally blanking. I am super blanking. Oh! That would be pretty dope, but it's also more difficult for me to read. That's fair. I totally forgot to consider the effect of Twitch chat on the way code looks. Why am I blanking so hard? I'm gonna use timing D for this. Else timing D equals 1. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm gonna have a catch here in attack step -2, where if timing D is equal to 1, that means the last enemy has reached its final position, so we can have that enemy send a signal over here to the director to say, hey, we're all done. This is... Mario can have another turn. And that's all just, you know, having the enemy set into motion. So I'm actually going to cut that out. Set the next enemy into motion. Start moving back to original position. Let's see. X speed equals negative... Or not negative. Equals, you know, let's just say, for the heck of it, 15. Goomba can move fast if it wants to. It doesn't need to move as fast as, you know, when running towards Mario. We're gonna have him set up his animation, and we're gonna set attack, step, C, or attack step B, I guess. To... Yeah, you know, honestly, that's attack step B in a nutshell there. Equals 5. Or actually 9. What the heck am I doing? And here in attack step B, if X plus X speed is greater than or equal to X spot, which is where the Goomba is supposed to stand when waiting its turn, as a true gentle Goomba do. We're gonna have X speed equal to 2 X equals X spot. Anim Goomba idle 0.5. Attack step B equals -2. Start waiting for the end of the round. Bada bing, bada boom. And then I'm gonna have a catch here. This means the Goomba is still moving, so we're gonna have it still doing its animations. And attack step 2, we're just waiting for the phase to end, but we also have this fancy little Anim Goomba idle. But if timing D equals 1, oh my goodness. All attacks are finished. You know what? I'm gonna try one of those with. One of those, with object direct. This is, I should probably look this up and see how the F this works. With! Okay. It's fascinating. I'm still not gonna use it, I'm sorry, Miles. Well, actually, I'll use it over here. With object new director, I will set M step A to 2. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Starhold. And over here, I'm going to instead do this. So timing A is set to 1, while instance exists. I'm going to set this to while timing A is less than 7. Yep, there we go. All enemies attack step B to 0. Hang on. Did I parent all the Goombas properly? With object test enemy. Just set anim step B to 0. There, I did it. I just need to make sure the Goombas are parented to that. There we go. What did I just close? I closed the Goomba. Oh no! I did not mean to do that. Okay, so. Now that we have the last Goomba doing its attack, it sets Anim Step A in the director to Dose, which does this. It sets... basically just resets everything so that Mario can take his turn again. That was a lot of code we just did. I hope it all works. But we'll see what happens. And, you know, there's still more things I need to add. I need to add, like, the screen zooming in on Mario as the attack's getting ready to go. And I need to add, you know, screen shake when Goomba hits Mario. But that's all stuff I can add later. Also, yes, I have a Discord server now. Woo! Big code! As I said, I need to, I had an intro sequence for the game, but I want to remake it to be more like an attract mode from, like, old arcade games. I am still so proud of this freaking main menu. Like, just so proud of it. We're gonna go ahead and fill up the audience a decent amount just so that we can get lots of cheers. Oh, there's Green. There's the green guy. Still gotta fix up that it's Showtime thing. I want to make it like more action-packed, which I think I know how to do. I can do like a friggin' thing with surfaces. I have ideas. Ideas, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and give this a shot. Alright. Oh no! Dang it! Okay. Goomba line 180. Okay. I know what I did based on that. I forgot to set that to... There we go. Oops. I fixed it. I fixed it, guys. Oh, green man. Being green. That happened to me so often, and then I'm like, dang it! All right. Oh. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen at all. Okay, so... oh, I see what I forgot to do. Attack, step, B or B equals 4. Ha ha. Oops. Oh, and I suppose I should have if attack step B equals 0. I'm not gonna fix that typo. That typo gets to stay. There we go. Because I noticed the one Goomba was pausing. Dang it, Frogman, that's way too true, and I don't like it. It was entertaining. I mean, I'm going against Mario. There's no way I can win here. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. You don't need me. You don't need me. I'm going. Oh. I need to make it so that these settings save themselves too. That's another thing on the list. I also need to make it so Luigi doesn't go backwards. His L isn't backwards, but that's easy enough to fix. Dang it, Luigi. I'll do a different move. Alright, let's see if it works. This time I forgot to label one of the timings. Urgh! I have made so many errors. Timing A. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this, you guys. We're gonna do it. Is gonna work. The Goomba will do a jump, and it will hit the Mario, and then it will go back to where it's supposed to go. And I'm just gonna jump straight to combat. A standoff of epic proportions. I think I know what happened. Yep, it stuck. It got trapped in a while. Oh. I realized what I did here, and that's a bad. Oh, that should mean I can just get rid of that. Because what I realized had happened was, this was set to -7, but if an instance did exist there, timing A wouldn't go up, and it would be stuck at less than 7. That was not smart of me. I should have realized that one sooner. This is what the playtests are for. I don't know why you would be thinking that, Frogman. But it sounds like an entertaining thought. Well, that worked. The other Goomba's not attacking, though. But progress! Okay, so what the problem is here, clearly. Let's see here. So now we've jumped out and we are moving to attack step B. Less than 7 and an instance doesn't exist. So that means if an instance does exist at timing A, it pops out. Wait. And then if it's less than 7, that means boop, doop, attack step B equals 1. That means that enemy should be doing the attack. Oh dang, I'm setting timing A back to 0. Don't do that. Naughty, naughty, don't. That should fix it. That'll fix one thing. That should do it, I think. Right? I should have put in a show debug message thing. Right. I will do that on the next run through if this one doesn't work. I heard that free guy was surprisingly good, yeah. Alright. Yes! Yes! But it doesn't work twice in a row, and I know why. Because I messed something up. But the enemies were able to do one attack. And that's good. One. Yeah, the pace was pretty good. They moved at pretty decent speed. So, let's see here. Might have... No, it doesn't, because the second enemy still moves properly on its turn. So, we need to figure this out. Because it totally skipped this, too. The enemy turn start. Like, it skipped this entire animation, which it should not have done. That is very odd. I'm just going to keep it with blocks for now. Need to figure out what's going on here. This might have something to do in Mario's attack animation. Let's see here. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at this. Mario's ending bit. Wait for the enemy to explode. Check to see if there's even another attack to do. If there isn't... If there isn't, Mario goes back to the starting position. Yes. When Mario's back at the starting position, we lock Mario into place. We reset the attack lattice. If there's another enemy, move to the enemy's turn. If any of those are not equal to 0, we move to Battle Phase 4. So... I'm going to put a thing here. It is a very nice function. Because I feel like that's where the catch is. I feel... because it totally skipped over the thing. Which is weird, it shouldn't have done that. Like, it should have gone through the animation, at least, and then, like, the enemy skips their turn. But, like, the fact that the enemy didn't even get a turn, that was weird. Enemy turn. Bonk. Bonk. Music transitions back, that's good. I know that works, at least. And it did display get over here once. It displayed it twice. Okay. So it's not the jump attack that's doing it. It's something in here. Something in here isn't working. What? Ah. You know, let me try something. Because I feel like Anim Step A might not be resetting properly. Which is weird. Oh! It is. It might not be. Battle for... the director doesn't do anything in Battle Phase 3, so... why don't I just reset everything? Because, I mean, it's not doing anything. None of those variables should matter, right? Think we may have finally gotten to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. It occurs to me I should check to make sure it works with a failed action command as well, so I'm gonna fail this one on purpose. It's still skipping it. Something just ain't right here, and I do not know what it'd be. Okay. We gotta use our brain parts. And I know some good music to listen to for brain parts. That's what I'm thinking. Wait. What's the Goomba doing? So we have Battle Phase 4. This is during its turn. But this shouldn't even be happening yet because it's totally skipping over this animation. This animation is not happening. So, Battle Phase may be in need of monitoring. Which I believe I have in the soundtrack object. Let's see. Well, Battle Phase is already monitored, actually. So, I have these new debug messages. We're here, we're there. This should show us. This should show us where the point of failure is, at least. I would think. Alright, so it does work after a failed action command, that's good. Okay, so we do get a "we're here" catch. So this is popping up. So Anim Step A, for some reason, is not equal to 0. And I think it might have something to do with the Goomba code. Because for some reason, attack step B is not being reset to 0. So I'm going to add in a new catch here. This is an else. Outside of enemy combat phase, attack step B equals 0, timing D equals 0. It went from 3 straight to 1. I think it may have skipped a frame. Because it was 4. For like the briefest of moments. It wouldn't have said "we're here" otherwise. Because it said "we're here" after "get over here." So it was 4 for like a frame. A single frame. And I think that single frame was enough for, you know, whatever code is in this Goomba to accidentally shoot straight to Anim Step A. So I think whatever code I was setting to reset attack step B to 0 wasn't working. This was not working. That's because it says Anim Step B, not attack step B. Aha! Fixed it. This is what I get for using multiple similar names of variables to do the same thing over and over again. So that's what was happening. But I fixed it. At least I think I fixed it. I fixed it now, right? Please tell me I fixed it. So they fixed it. The Goombas will be able to attack. Everything is perfect now, I hope. Alright. Moment of truth, y'all. Ha ha! It works. Oh yeah! This is happening! Excellent. Alright, well you have a good night, Starholt. I hope you enjoyed the stream thus far. And yes, I do look forward to posting more of this project. Did it. I did it. Okay. So from there, it's just a matter of tightening up the animation and, you know, making it look a little bit nicer. I might add like a bounce on the Goomba hitting the ground, just because that'll, you know, add a bit more life, make it look a little bit nicer. But there's other stuff we gotta do to make sure this attack do what it's supposed to do. And EPZ has returned with soup! Don't you mean cozy? So, a variety of things. I need to explain another mechanic now of the game, and that is the danger panic, or peril. Danger peril. So in Paper Mario, at least in Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, when Mario was down to his last 5 hit points, he would enter a state called danger. And it's basically meant to be like, okay, you're gonna die pretty soon. But there were all sorts of badges that had special effects that relied on Mario being in danger. And then when Mario was down to 1 hit point left, he would enter peril. And there were similar badges for this peril state. Now, as much as I like the idea of danger and peril, I want to change them up a bit. And how I am doing that is a little complicated. So let me kind of try to explain what I mean. So we got these Goombas. Their basic head bonk attack does 2 damage. So, 3 Goombas on the stage. The most amount of damage they can do is 6. This is assuming Mario doesn't block any of those attacks, and doesn't have any defense buffs or anything like that. The most damage they'll do is 6. Mario enters the danger state when the combined attack power of all the enemy's next attacks is equal to or greater than his current health value. So if Mario's at 6 hit points and these 3 Goombas are on stage, he'll enter danger. This means if the player doesn't do anything at all, like all the enemies survive Mario's next turn, and he doesn't recover any health or anything like that, and the enemies are all able to attack, and he doesn't block any of them, Mario will die, or get knocked out. So in that position, he is in a danger state. Another mechanic is how blocking works. Blocking halves the amount of damage, but it can never reduce it to 0. So, even if an attack would only ever do, like, 1 damage, or even if Mario has, like, defense buffs that, like, make it so his, defense is higher than the enemy attack, enemies will always do at least 1 damage with every attack they do. So, if there's 3 Goombas on stage, that means that no matter what, they'll always do at least 3 points of damage on their next turn. If Mario is at a position where even if he blocks every attack, he will get knocked out if the enemy is allowed to take their turn, that's when he enters peril state. So if there's 3 Goombas on the stage, Mario enters danger at 6 health and peril at 3 health. So that's how I want danger and peril to work. But in order to do that, we need a way to keep track of A, what attack the enemies are going to do on their next turn, B, how much damage all those attacks will do, and C, everything else related to that. So, we got the Goombers. Oh yeah, here we go. I wrote attack step able to determine overall attack used. Okay, cool. So, what we want to do when an enemy is created, we choose their attack. Goombas always attack 0. Danger Zone is what we're going to use for our danger variable, and Peril Zone is what we're going to use for our peril variable. So, let's go back to this dealing damage thing. we're gonna set up this end turn. Choose next attack. And over here in new director, I got some variables here that we need to have a look at. They're somewhere in here. Somewhere. Okay, so here we go. That does mean there's a normal zone. That's just base state. That's just you don't have to worry about it. I'm just using danger zone and peril zone as like, okay, this is what the attacks, this is the threshold for the attack potentially causing danger. Like, that's the maximum amount of damage this attack will do. Peril zone is the minimum amount of damage this attack will do. So here we're going to keep track of if Mario is in danger or peril, with a similar danger zone and peril zone variable. Okay. I'm trying to think about how I want this to go about. So, after the Goomba returns to its base position, it chooses its next attack. Now, since the Goomba, it's always a head bonk, so it's always going to be 0, basically. It's always 0. And then we need to set object new director dot danger zone plus equals 2 object new director dot peril zone plus equals 1. Now this also means that when we start the enemy turn, we're going to reset Phantom Step A equals 0. We're going to reset... Oh yeah, I can get rid of this as well. Get rid of both of these. Danger Zone equals 0, Peril Zone equals 0, because Mario's already in the Danger Zone or the Peril Zone, and keeping track of if he's in danger or not is a separate thing. I might need them later! But we're not changing his actual danger state. We're going to keep that the same. We're just resetting Danger Zone and Peril Zone so that the Goombas can change it again. So this is the end turn. This is if he has reached his position. We move on to the next attack step, and we set Danger Zone and Peril Zone to those appropriate things. This will have more code if enemies have more attacks, and this will change based on like Mario's defense value or whatever, but Mario doesn't have anything that affects his defense value yet, so this is just... This will be added onto later. But we just want to make sure that Mario, you know, keeps track of what's what, what's where. So we also want when the enemy is created, I don't think I need attack move. And I don't think they need their own danger zone. Actually, they do need their own danger zone variable, because if the Goomba gets blown up, it needs to subtract from danger zone or peril zone. Duh! Oh, I need to make sure that's object new director. And I'm making the ones with object new director plus equals so that, you know, not all of the Goombas are just setting it to an exact thing, they're adding to it. because if I make it just equals 1, then all the Goombas will make it equal 1. And then Peril Zone is just 1, and Danger Zone is just 2, and that doesn't work properly. There we go. Then over here, bada bing, bada boom. I knew there was a reason I did it this way. Bam! So, what this should do now is set up the Danger Zone. Now that we've got our highway to the Danger Zone, we can see if it's actually working. Because I actually have, like, the danger system programmed in. Like, Mario actually reacts to being in danger. I'm on the highway to Hiffle. I'm on the highway to Hiffle. Because I have a button here that does the most magical thing. It kills Mario. There we go. Yeah! So, I only wanted the danger beep to happen once, because I figured it would get pretty annoying if it just kept repeating. And, you know, Mario's changing position, the thing flashing, saying danger, Mario panting. I figured, you know, those were all pretty good signs that he's in a rough spot as it is. But then if we drop down to 3... it starts flashing faster and it plays the peril sound effect. Yeah. But it's also because, you know, I figure there are some players who are going to want to play with Mario being in danger or peril as much as they can to benefit off of the badges that that make Mario more powerful from those effects. So I figure having the beeping be a constant reminder would be just irritating, and it just struck me as unnecessary. In the basic Paper Mario games, like, as long as you're in danger, you keep getting that beeping over and over and over again, and it is pretty annoying. But what happens when I defeat one of these enemies? Kabam! Mario is back in regular Danger Zone, baby. I need to make it so that thing flashes during all phases and not just Mario's phase. But hey, now Danger Zone and Peril Zone are at different thresholds. Huzzah, hip hip hooray. And that's good. That's the good stuff right there. Alright, so now we have it set up so that, you know, Mario enters a danger state when appropriate, peril state when appropriate, and that state changes when it is as appropriate. Enemies need to actually hurt Mario now instead of just bounce off him and go, well, I just did my best, I guess. So we need to actually have this Goomba hurt Mario. I want to see pain happen. And the position that happens at, I just so happen to already have right here. Ta-da! So what's handy is that, you know, we have a variety of things we already know we need to do because they basically happen in Mario's attack script for this jump attack here. So if I jump down to a position where a damage star is created, which, here we go. So this looks pretty complex, and that's because it is. I am super close to having a proper gameplay loop. I'm excited. Like, after this, I just need to have it, like, basically after this, I need to have it set up so that you can actually continue on to the next round, and then, like, bam. I mean, it'll just be round after round of Mario beating up Goombas, but I'll be able to expand upon it, like, really easily. And it's just, ooh, it's the dream. So, Goomba needs to deal damage. So, attack step D is what we're using to create our damage star. So we just create instance, create, and, well, the star can just pop out of, like, object Mario.x, let's say minus 15. We want it to kind of pop out to the left a bit. Mario.y minus 30, and we want it to be above him as well. And damage date, damage star. What the hell? We're not throwing fruit at Mario. And then attack step D dot damage equals I mean, danger zone is the attack value maximum already, so yeah. Yeah. Or, wait, hang on. Well, okay, we'll check if Mario's blocking here. But we'll do that after we make sure this works. Also because I want to tighten up Mario's blocking animation anyway. This is from Super Mario Odyssey. It plays on the rooftop cafe. And yes, is good. I love Super Mario World music. And then attack step D dot good equals 0 because this is a bad damage. Ooh. It is bad. Ooh. The nice thing is that basically we don't even need to check like Mario's defense or anything because we already do that with the danger zone and peril zone variables. So basically, if Mario blocks, we just set it to danger. We just subtract danger zone, and if we just subtract peril zone, and if Mario doesn't block, we subtract danger zone. So basically, I've already got this figured out instead of having to rely on like all this code right here for, you know, damage and all that. That would be dope. I would also go there. Also, hey Red, how's it going? There is good damage when you're the one dealing it to the bad. And then, let's, where do I have Mario's health? I don't actually think it's in Mario. I think it's in the director. So it is. And then we also need... Oh, wait, we already played the sound effect for damage, so it's all good. We'll need to play a sound effect for if Mario blocks, but, again, that's something we're gonna do later. So we got attack step. Now, I need to make sure that, damage star. Step. We want it to go the other way. If it's a bad damage. Oh, no. So this should do it. I think. I got a really good feeling about this. Oh, let's do a different move. Let's try the E-Cammer. That's fun. Okay. It works, but... obviously, I need to adjust a couple things. But his health is going down. So, if I keep doing the E-Camera over and over again, we should enter a danger state naturally through the enemies hitting me. I also need to have Mario actually react to getting hit as well. There we go, perfect! Ah, that's so satisfying. So satisfying. Okay, so. Obviously that needs to jump up quite a bit. I'm gonna jump it up to 200. Just cuz. Do I have? I do. But Mario has a lot of animations for taking damage. Okay, that's him. Oh, right, those are from, like, the original. Okay, here we go. Because I reorganized these sprites a bit. So, we got 13, which is that pose. 69. which is that pose. You know, 13 was a pretty good pose, honestly. Let's just go. Pose equals argument 0. Yeah, that's fair. I hope you have a good night, Miles. Take easy. I don't think I'm gonna have Mario ever turn into a gargoyle. That would be kind of odd. Oh, and if image index is not equal to 13, well, I mean, not particularly. Oh. I'm sort of limited by the sprites I have to work with, and I don't want to have to make too many more new sprites. Because this project is already fairly ambitious in scope. Like, I know I created, like, the Yoshi audience sprites and, like, all the partner sprites, but, you know, like I said, that just takes time and effort. So we're gonna have Mario get hit if, and then frame max equals, let's say his reaction lasts for 45 frames. And oh shoot, I need to make this fair pose. I also need to make sure it there we go. That should do it, I think. And we're going to have this variable here called hurt time. Well, let me actually check and see if Mario has something. I should probably be playing some music. Yeah, I'll add one here, hurt time 0. Getting hit. And then animations. Mario has not been hit. Else. Also, you'll notice here I have it set up so that like Mario has, you know, some moment where he's unable to block after you hit the block button. Like if you block too early and you whiff the block, you temporarily cannot block. Just so you can't like spam the block button, basically. Because that would be bad. And then, oh, you know, I should probably also include a variable. Yep, no spamming that block button. Get out of here. I have blocked as thing. There we go. If blocked equals 0, I'm just gonna set that to 0. Just set that to 0 for now. Oh, no, you know what? I want to make sure. No. I gotta figure out what I want to do here. Oh, no, I figured it out. Okay, here we go. I got it. This may seem a little confusing, but I swear it'll make sense when it's all said and done. Okay. Oop. Nope. Where's the Goomba? Goomba. Okay, here we go. So, we have a really easy way to see if Mario is actually blocking. And that's if he's in his blocking frame. Which the block frames are 26 and 27. There we go. That should do it. So now we should have a block effect. Which... Goomba... I believe... Nope. Does Mario have the block sound? Gotta look at all these sounds I'm loading. Yes, he does. Okay. Should be able to just... There we go. That should do it. Woo! So Mario should now be able to block attacks. Let's see it in action, folks. As soon as everything saves, so that I don't lose progress. Because that would be bad. Oh, man. It's fairly precise timing. I am including a badge that tightens up the timing even more, but makes it so that it drops damage even further. Sort of makes... Right now, the timing is supposed to be similar to how it is in the later Paper Mario games, where you don't have to, like, get it super precise, whereas the badge would make it more like Paper Mario 64 and Thousand Year Door, where you do kinda have to be pretty close with your timing. Let's see how well this works. Alright, let's see. Okay, so something's not happening to make it so that Mario gets out of his hurt animation. So he should go back to it, yep. Why? You know what? I don't need that one. There we go. That should do it. That ought to do it! Ouchie. Yeah! But now something's happening to keep Mario from getting out of his block animation. Which, is also not good. Let's do it now. Let's see. Oh, no, no. Here we go. Okay. I also make this so... Let's see, if action command is greater than 0, drops. If it's greater than 1, it just drops. If it's not, that means if it's equal to 1, you get a half second of being unable to block. If it's less than 0, it comes back. If it is equal to 0, we go back to the animation. We go back to the idle animation. If it is anything else, it goes to the block animation. Okay, that's if hurt time is equal to 0. Time plus if block equals 0. Else anim Mario block. There we go, that ought to fix it. We're getting close. We're getting so close. You know, I actually don't mind the way that looks. It's like snapping right back into action. But I think it would look better if we had a few frames of him still in the block pose. What I just did is I added a thing here that sets it so that Mario maintains the block pose for a couple seconds before snapping into that ready action. Oh, no, that one's mostly black. It's like a cave background, basically. Also, as an additional treat, I'm going to unlock all the My Music tracks. So let's see what we get. I'm pretty satisfied with how this is turning out so far. All right. So, we've made some very encouraging progress today, it must be said. We managed to finish up the Goomba's attack. I mean, like, we got it working. You know, we can add more polish to it, you know, particle effects, an extra bounce after it lands on the ground, that sort of thing, to just make it look nicer. Basically, that's all it needs, is just polish at this point. But I mean, it does damage. It does damage according to how it gets blocked. And the good thing is, like, most of that code I can just reuse for other enemy attacks. Just changing it based on when the enemy hits Mario, how the enemy hits Mario. That sort of thing. We even have the danger peril system set up properly, it looks like. And again, that's something that, you know, now that it's set up, it's just a matter of making sure the enemies actually, you know, tell the director, hey, this is how much damage I'm going to do with my next attack, this is what the next attack I'm going to do will do. And Mario has a block animation and can block attacks now. And he has a hurt animation and can get hurt by attacks now. So, that is an excellent amount of progress, I think. I really need to do more of these dev streams. I get super freaking productive with them, it must be said. So, how far along am I? Well, I have basically all of Mario's jump attacks, basically all of Mario's hammer attacks. I just need to program his item moves, which are the mushroom, the pow block, the fire flower, and the ice flower. The fire flower and the ice flower are basically going to be the exact same animation, just one's red and one's blue. And then I need to get his partners program, that is Goombella, Watt, Sushi, and Bobbery. Those are going to be more complicated because those are going to require another character to come onto the screen and do something. And especially Goombella, because she actually needs to, like, unlock something in the main menu whenever she does her attack and, like, make it so that enemies have their HP bars visible from that point on and weaknesses and strengths and all that. So Goombella is definitely going to be the most complex of Mario's cards, I think, but I mean, I'm essentially halfway done with Mario's moves, and then I need to, like, program the additional levels, like level 2, level 3, level 4, and then from there I just need to balance everything, which is going to be super tricky, but once I have all of Mario's moves programmed, from there, it's basically just adding enemies. And, like, Color Splash already has a lot of enemies for me to add, so that's a good thing, so I can just use a whole bunch of sprites from that, but, you know, I'm gonna also have to have boss fights, too. Those are going to be really complex based on how I want to do them. But yeah, progress has been made. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good time in the neighborhood. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm glad I was able to entertain you. I'm glad this is entertaining, because sometimes I worry that just watching a person write a whole lot of text while talking to themselves is, you know, boring, but I'm glad I was able to keep it entertaining. I hope I was also able to keep it informational, and, you know, if I can do this, anybody can do this, quite frankly, is how I would go about saying it. Because, like, this is a skill that anyone can learn. And, gonna end on this fantastic note here. I just love this. It's so good. Check out the Discord. And yeah, y'all have yourselves a fantastic evening.